I don't remember the dates on this, but some time ago, the City of Cape Town wanted to extend its permits to operate the three the marine outfalls which discharge sewage into the ocean. They wanted to extend the permits of those, and the Minister of Fisheries, Forestry and the Environment said, no, 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 you can't do that. You haven't done a proper consultation process with the public. So the city went back to the public participation process drawing board and did a proper public participation process, which lasted 2 months, and has received a substantial number of comments, which Zahid Badroodien is the Water and Sanitation Mayoral Committee member. Zahid, are available for scrutiny on the city's website at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. And it's part of our efforts to be transparent about the information that we've collected, but also our responses to the comments that have been received. And important point to make is that our initial public participation process took place in 2015, and it took the department in the various forms, because it changed at least twice between then and now, to make a decision around about 8 years ultimately. And the minister at that stage then said that our public participation is dated and wanted us to go back to the public to speak, which we had absolutely no issue to undertake, obviously, because technologies have changed drastically, over the period in terms of how wastewater in the marine outfalls are being treated, globally speaking. And so this public participation process was part of our efforts to take the comments and then ultimately submit that to the minister, as we've now done, and the reports are available on the city's website for anybody who's interested in the documents.
It is a subject which people in Cape Town, I'm not going to say that this is a subject which is top of mind for a majority of Cape Townians, but there is a core group of very concerned citizen activists who don't like marine outfalls at all and have made allegations about the inefficiency of the city's marine outfalls. And they have made submissions which are very critical of the situation as it is, and suggesting that it should by and large be completely done away with. What happens now? Okay, so 60 days public participation, you forward everything to the department, and people like me are able to go to the website and have a look at what people have said, which is mainly critical in my view. So what happens next?
So ultimately, it's up to the minister and the department to make the decision around whether or not to grant these licenses to the city to continue to make use of the marine outfalls. Obviously, these marine outfalls service large parts of our city that aren't connected to any sewer infrastructure. And these, like the Camps Bay Marine outfall built in 1977 and the Hout Bay and the Greenpoint outfalls built in 1993, all connected then essentially to this infrastructure. So they'll make the decision. They'll likely come back with findings and also requirements that they'll impose on the city to introduce some form of treatment, which is our expectation that this may come, and it's for that reason that we've already initiated, even before these appeals were submitted, another study which gives us essentially various options that the city can implement. And these are options that are looking at our infrastructure as it currently stands, so upgrading the existing infrastructure, the screens that we have, which could cost the city up to 100 million rand. The consultants are telling us, having looked at all of our systems, and then also further looking at potentially building decentralized treatment plants at our wastewater, at the marine outfalls, where they're currently located, so that some form of treatment then can be introduced, or, which is probably the most expensive option here, to pipe the existing marine outfall to existing wastewater treatment works, such as Cape Flats or Athlone or Portsdam wastewater treatment works, or to extend the pipe further into the sea, which I imagine wouldn't be a favorable option for the environmentalists, because it doesn't make sense to do that without introducing some form of treatment. So we've got these options available. The city is identifying what is the most viable option, but some of these could go up to 3 billion rand in terms of decentralized waste.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you estimate the costs of continuing to pump inadequately or barely treated effluent into the sea with the impact on recreation and marine life?
Yeah, and there's no question around that. We've already accepted that science and the scientists and the environmental communities who have been critical of this process, we agree with them that something must be done. And so it's not about estimating how much wastewater we still produce or still discharging into the ocean, but actually getting to not only just the scoping that we're currently doing, but actual budgeting and planning and implementation, which is where we're driving the administration at the moment. So despite
Zahid, do you have to wait for the decision from the minister before you put any of these plans into action? Because surely you should already have started scoping and started the processes, because you would want to put in something which goes beyond what conditionality the minister imposes for.
Absolutely. And so our efforts aren't dependent on the outcomes of what the minister may instruct us to do. This work is done in parallel and separate to that, because some form of treatment does need to happen. We agree with the activist community around that. And so the minister will make a decision, but this work that we're doing currently continues parallel and will be implemented once the final decision in terms of what's the best option is decided upon. But the short term, in terms of the existing infrastructure improvements, is something that we're already currently working on to make sure that we land that in our budget, so that work can begin even long before a decision is made.
That's Zahid Badroodien, Water and Sanitation Mayoral Committee member. Zahid, thanks for talking to us this afternoon.